Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Gurren Otaku Council podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ace and McMillian, and today we got episode 86. It is the return of the Spring Kings, everybody. The spring season is fully underway. We got for you our first impressions or early review of both Demon Slayer and My Hero Season 7. But of course, before we get into all that, if you'd like to join me, my friend McMillian, and just discuss all things anime, sometimes manga, then please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to join the council, everybody. With all that being said, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. All right, everybody, welcome back for another week of anime. As always, hope everybody's doing super fantastic. How you doing today, McMillian? And will you also go ahead and do the council announcements?
Yes, I can. I'm doing well, my friend. All right, so for council announcements today, we'll start off with just wanted to remind everyone, last week we did a Mashle Season 2 review. So if you have not seen that, go ahead and go check that out. And as always, Aces will be continuing his One Piece reviews with 1104. Now to get into the agenda today, first we'll be starting off with My Hero Season 7, then moving into anime news, then we'll be going into the first episode of Demon Slayer, the Hashira training arc, and then wrapping it all up with our weekly recommendation. So stay tuned.
All right, that's right. So let's just go ahead and hop straight into the first discussion of the day, everybody. The My Hero Season 7 discussion. And then, boy, it is off to a phenomenal start. My Hero is back, everybody. One of the big three of the new gen, if you will. If there was ever such a thing, as some people will say. But it's off to a great start. So, I mean, this hero stars in Strike. OP, crazy. I wish we would have got to see more of her, but she was a phenomenal character. How did you feel about her character?
I really like Stars and Stripes. Besides, was when the season ended, when she first popped up, it was a very America, fuck yeah, type of feeling. Great, in a time right now where in a weird time right now where America obviously is not, fuck yeah, but that was a really fun thing to end the season off of, and then to start with her immediately facing off against Shigaraki / One for All was great. I thought that was a great thing. I did not know how fast it was gonna go away.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna get at least maybe 3 episodes, but I'll settle for 2. I'm cool with that, I guess. But I would have took 3. Took 3.
Man, I was hoping she was gonna be around for the season. So I thought that was...
I thought I was hoping that as well, and I think we'll get into that a little bit later. But so let's start right here, right? So My Hero Season 7, everybody. So we start off exactly where we ended off from Season 6 with Stars and Strike coming over from America, flying over to Japan to come help out, with the situation that's going on. Unfortunately, our boy Shigaraki / Awful One got wind of this, that she was coming over, and he said, hey, he thought to himself, I can't let her, go group up with One for All. I made that was my one worst case scenario of happiness. So you know what? I'm gonna meet her out in the ocean before she even got a chance to get her, right? And then boom, clash. We got Shigaraki versus Stars and Strike right off the bat, and it was crazy.
Yeah, no, there was so much revealed in the fight that I was like, this is not only are we getting a fight, we getting lore dumps right now. It's crazy. Because as I feel like probably as most people probably surmise that one, Stars and Stripes was a student or a person that was inspired by All Might, and she was America's version of him, and then to find out her quirk, fucking New Order, which has the ability to basically change the rules of anything that Stars and Stripes touches based on her calling out the name and then the condition, which I was this, oh my fucking god, that's a crazy ass ability.
Yeah, no, it's wild.
It's wild. It has its limits, but the limits are fucking you can work your way around them.
Yeah, you can. But no, we saw some of the limits in the show that you just mentioned that were they the rules on Stars and Stripes, or New Order rather, were worked differently on actual living things instead of non-animate things, right? So
Hmm.
for example, she could only make herself so much strong because she's a living being, and she has a capacity. So she
Yep.
couldn't make herself as strong as All Might because her body is just not capable of being as strong as All Might, because who can be that strong.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, well, I guess besides Midoriya, because he got his quirk and all that. But other than besides the actual users of One for All, there's nobody else that can actually be that strong as one. All Might. So, that the order will only work so much, which I thought was kind of a cool way of balancing as well. On top of being able having to be able to touch stuff before giving out like a new order, so she can't just look at something and be like, hey, new order, and just start going
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, yeah, to your point, yes, but also like I really loved because immediately with that thing I was like, so can she manipulate air? And almost as soon as I thought it, she did that
Yeah.
shit where she was like, the air will disappear within like certain meters. I was like, all right, well, pack it up, everybody. Everyone else sucks from this moment.
Like, cause this is the RNG we talking about in in My Hero. You can either be born with balls sticking to your head like our old boy Minero, right? Or you can be born with a quirk like New Order with Stars and Stripes. There's no in between. It's no in between. Minato, that's his name.
Yeah, Minato. Yeah, the moment she did that, I was like, all right, this shit's insane. And as much as I dislike, I think like how fast she went away, like that is a character, but that's a character built only to be able to face off against somebody like
Shigaraki. Yes.
Yeah, like because you can't put that up against a normal person. So I kind of get what the author did with having her go away so fast, and even like the way it transpired. But also, it does not make it less disappointing.
No, it does not make it less disappointing. So, like you said, I understand why, and we can go ahead and hop into that conversation now. But I was at least hoping we was gonna get a situation, maybe like even if she did like what happened in this season, like when the first 2 episodes, but like later on, those like we get to see have a little bit more time with her, just her just solving crimes around Japan, and then the big battle starts.
Yeah.
And then if she does have to die, she could still do the same thing, but we got to at least spend a little bit more time with it. But I do think I understand why it had to happen so soon, because I guess this is nerfing Shigaraki ahead of time instead of waiting until the battle later on, because now you have to, even if you're still going to do it that way, you still have to find out a way to write it kind of good, right, to make it work out that way. Because like the way it happened now, it was a 1-on-1 battle. But if it's a full-on war, how was this? It's just a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it would have been interesting to see what like the dynamic would have been different if like she had other heroes to back her up, how that would have worked out. But
yeah,
like you said, like her and eventually like nerfing One for All and Shigaraki, that was like the ultimate goal, and I respect it because it makes sense from a standpoint, because you gotta make
that man was he was up there. Like at what other point could they have stopped this man, because he had so many quirks.
Yeah,
because I mean, we already saw from last season, Endeavor couldn't do anything, and I mean, even though what was that, Midoriya, they only squabbled for a little bit, Midoriya couldn't do much of nothing either, right? So we would have had to see an insane jump from Midoriya to justify them winning, right?
Yeah, because I was about to say that wasn't even when like all like the powers were activated within Shigaraki. That was like just some. So,
yes.
Yeah, it would have been wild if they didn't do something like this. And also that in turn also served as like a like a story device, even more so, because like when she first touched Shigaraki and she tried to do like an order on him, you find out that Shigaraki is neither himself nor One for All fully.
Yes, they're becoming like a new person, which is crazy, because I didn't think it worked like that. But hey,
yeah, so like that even revealed even more stuff, and it's crazy the setup. Like you could see the setup, you could be disappointed in it because of how it happened, but you could see the setup, and I thought like the way it happened was so cool too, because it was like One for All was so much
He was
I
so
mean,
close. I thought he
one.
won because the whole time I was thinking after the very first episode, I was just like, okay, so he's going at the New Order, right? And if he gets this, what are we gonna do? If this man gets this quirk, there's no possible way. I don't want to hear nothing. There's no possible way we're gonna stop this man.
Legitimately, my thought process was, all right, if he gets this, I mean, he's basically already a character with every quirk, but this is like every quirk times 2. Like, what the fuck?
Yes.
Like, New Order is like so many quirks wrapped up in it in one thing.
Yes.
Like,
it's
so,
like, what do you really do against this man at this point?
Right.
Because now you can just make up. Well, I guess no. I was about to say you can kind of work that in with your DK, but they're still both dependent on touching things. Thankfully, I guess that's the only drawback. But still, even regardless,
right. So like, yeah, that would have been crazy. And I really like the way they did it with using that like subliminal space and her and All For One being like, oh, I did it, my perfect victory, like kind of like the L thing. But it was like, bitch, you thought. And she, like Cassie, even though she passed like all Stars and Stripes, she had the last laugh at the end because it was like, you can't give it away, nor like, well, can you keep it? And I just like, this is.
She gave them their 1 in a million chance that they needed, their shining star, their hope. She gave it to them. This is something this is basically what they needed, the type of look and type of break that they needed, and unfortunately, she had to give her life for it, but. She gave them their one chance at winning now, and they gotta take it.
Yeah. So only time will tell. I think like where this season will go and everything, but a phenomenal start. Like
what was even crazier though was when Shigaraki was trying to get rid of the quirk New Order, right? Because it was destroying his body and everything. And then when he tried to dump it off to somebody else, she was just like, "Oh, you think I was just gonna let you give it to somebody else? No, this is done. Stars and Stripes is gone. I mean, not Stars and Stripes. New Order is gone."
Yeah, exactly. That's how I was like, she got the last laugh at the end. She was like, you can't keep it, nor can you give it away to try and retake. Like,
yep.
I was like, this is perfect.
It's done. She, like you said, she literally got the last laugh. It was crazy.
Yeah. So
because now you didn't win on this gamble. At first you won on the gamble, but now you really lost on this gamble, right?
Oh,
so now you shouldn't have went out there at all.
Definitely, like granted, he did remove a major threat, but also he made himself weaker the process.
Because now it's probably going to take him a little bit longer to become complete now, because at first he was at 98%, but then that was before he just lost basically all his quirks. So
yeah, and I mean, and even at the end of the episode, that's what was it, Endeavor or was it no
I think that was All Might. That's what he was saying.
All Might
that's
was
what
saying,
the
like,
students.
We have an opportunity here to basically like do something, because Cassie made sure that he won't be able to
attack as fast. Yeah, because she did a number on that man that she did. And it also looks like we're about to go into a little mini training arc as well. That's what it seems. Because the next episode looked like they were all training.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense.
That'd be interesting.
Which makes sense because I think this is a way to show people, like, besides Midoriya, like where everybody else is at, because we didn't really get to see any of the other characters. I feel like last season, because after Midoriya went on his like dark arc, like that was the only student really that we got to he was the only student we got to see advance and structure. So I feel like having like maybe the next episode or two dedicated to showing how
the heroes are preparing.
And them are preparing would be a good turn of events.
I agree. So what? Let me ask you this. Season 7 looks like the war is coming. We already know that, right? So who are you specifically looking forward to show it out? We already know Midoriya is gonna have his moment. He's the main character, right? We're not worried about him. Who are you looking forward to seeing show their stuff this season?
Honestly, I Ochako or Ravity, just because I feel like there's gonna be a chance where Shisha pops off. The face you giving me is like, I wasn't expecting it. And the only reason I say her is because I feel like Bakugo and Todoroki, they're going to have a moment. Like Bakugo's is already set up. I mean, not Bakugo's. Todoroki's is already set up.
Yeah,
his fucking brother. Like that's going to that's why
going
like
to
that's
happen.
not a question.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not a question in my mind. And then Bakugo is basically like Midori. I'm not saying he's Midoriya's sidekick or anything, but
he's attached at the hip.
Yeah. Like, so whatever Midoriya gets into, most likely Bakugo. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the only other character to really potentially like shine in a way that it's unexpected would probably be Ochako, because they've kind of set her up to be like, what's Toga's
little rival?
Like,
yeah.
So I feel like that's probably like out of an unexpected one, that's one. But I guess if I'm going for expected, probably Todoroki's fight with Dabi, because pretty sure that's gonna be fucking elite. Like, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be like an amazing
I hope it is. Well, no, we'll see. Like you said, Todoroki for me was expected as well, and kind of Bakugo a little bit. They don't have, the main three don't have their little shine. What are we doing here? But I'm looking forward to Tokoyami because he is the hidden beast of 1A. I'm telling you, we all know that's
the lightning.
No, that's the guy with the bird guy, the shadow guy.
Oh yeah,
with the shadow. Yeah, with Dark Shadow. Yeah. Yeah, no,
he's
the hidden gem.
I'm interested. No, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I do think he's great. I just want to know, like, if they do use him this season, like, what is it gonna be for? Because like his whole thing, I feel like last season was being like Hawks' student and like learning from him. So I'm just interested, like, what's the evolution to that? Because Hawks seems very right now. Hawks is out of the game, so I just want to know, like, is he gonna be?
Is he gonna step up
into? Yeah. Is he gonna try and step up into like his master's shoes or whatever? So that'll be interesting. I do. 100%. Yeah, I do hope we get to see from him.
You think President Mike gonna do anything this season?
Maybe, because
because we still get the whole storyline with Eraserhead and their friends in his friend going on. So I don't know if they're gonna address that at all this season, but no, they're still there.
Yeah, because Eraserhead right now is, well, I don't know if he's out of commission because they really touch up on him. I know one of his eyes is damaged.
Yeah, I was about to say, we know he was messed up from the fight, but like I said, I don't know if he's out of commission though. But yeah, he was hurt from the last fight though. I'm with you. I don't know. We do need an update on Eraserhead, huh?
Yeah, because he's very. I mean, like, in terms of, I mean, even
and also like, Midnight. Did she die?
Yeah, no, Midnight's dead. It was very unclear, but she is dead. They confirmed that, I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah, very crazy. And I was just gonna say, like, about Eraserhead, it's gonna be very interesting to see, I guess, like, President Mike fight without Eraserhead or with, depending on like what happens. Because I feel like if there's any like hero that All For One would want to take out besides like the ones he's already done, it'd be Eraserhead, because
because his unique quirk,
that he can he can stop people's quirks. So like he's a
problem in his own right.
Yeah. So I just feel like eventually he gonna, All For One go send somebody to try and handle him. So I feel like President Mike might step in that situation. Something like that.
Well, okay. So we talked about the heroes. Are there any villains you're looking forward to showing their stuff this season? Yeah.
Again, Dabi's like expected. Like that's so like, shit. Let me think.
If I had to think, I can't think of his name. My pick would be the guy who can clone himself and all that. Right?
He's dead.
Did he? Oh yeah, he did die.
He died last season.
You're right.
I was like, he died.
No, you're right. He did die. I remember.
They had to remove him.
I remember. Yeah, because he was a problem. We got to get him out of here because his quirk had evolved, and now this is a much bigger issue. Now this is you gotta go.
No, you can't stay.
I remember. Yeah,
you cannot stay.
There's almost like another, like you said, almost like another version of New Order, but just a little bit different. Just yeah. That's I mean, well, not necessarily New Order, another version like One for All, almost having to like any quirk, because I don't even know how it work. Is it Was it like a type of thing as once he already touched them, like does he store their quirk and he can just use it at any time if he wanted to, or is there a time limit on that? I don't know. Regardless,
because they didn't
it
really show.
didn't matter. It didn't matter because regardless, it was dangerous.
Yes.
Regardless,
exactly. So like that, I like twice. Yeah, twice already showed his stuff.
He is gone.
I guess the only I don't know if I have a specific one, but I am interested to see, because there's still an issue with the New Liberation Army. Like what the fuck their deal is
they look like they was talking up Spender a little bit, so he might do something this season.
Mm-hmm. Spender's supposed to be their standard, so I don't know if like I'd say I'd have one, right now, but that's probably like besides Dabi, that's probably the most interesting thing to me as far as like villains outside of like One for All, Shigaraki, and Dabi.
Well, I would say this because
what's gonna happen there.
Yes, but also we know the high end no moves are still there, so I'm definitely interested to see who's gonna take those assignments, end up taking those assignments. So that'll be interesting to see.
Good. Yeah, no, it's good thing to point out too. Yeah. Whew. Season 7 looking up to be a great start though. As much as they upset me with that Stars Stripe getting fucking KO'd in that second episode.
I'm with you, and a lot of other people I would have wanted a few more episodes with it, but I understand the reason why, and I can kind of, I see the setup, but as you said earlier, I see the setup, so I'm not mad at it. But I'm mad.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm not 100% mad at you, Horikoshi. I don't want you to pull that shit again. Do not let people breathe for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn.
You could at least gave a few chapters. You ain't have to offer that quick. Something.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Yeah, I should have looked up before we started talking how many chapters.
We could have got, or at least gave us a little mini arc with her before you just offer us something. Like we could have did something last season where we just saw her do one little small mission over in America or something. I don't know. Give us something.
Yeah. Because they introduced her
for something. You just gave us this dope character and just took him, just took him away. Oh man! But once again, I understand as well though, because her quirk was undeniably a little OP as well. So
yeah, it
makes things a little interesting.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, everybody. I'm sorry.
The only thing I was gonna say was like to wrap it all up. I am interested to see though, like what quirks is specifically all for one loss.
Still has, and still what he still got left as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that'll definitely be like a,
the big one on my ticket list to see is, does he still have that regeneration quirk? Because that's one of the main issues.
Yeah, 8 lasers, and his ass was just like, I mean, granted, he was burnt, but like anybody else would be dead. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that regeneration quirk is another OP of quirks that he had as well. Because just like you said, just being able to sit there and tank all that, you basically need a nuke to kill this man at that point. And it's crazy that the nuke would have did it though. No, we didn't touch upon it. Like, but the nuke, he acknowledged that nuke would have killed him. And he was like, I barely got out of there with my life. So he ain't nuke level yet. He's not atomic level like our boy over at Eminence as Shadow. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But enough rambling, everybody. That was the My Hero Season 7. I guess, once again, early first impressions here. So we're going to head on to everybody's favorite time of the episode, everybody. It's time for GLC News, your weekly source for your favorite anime news. So let's get into it. All right, everybody. With not much for news today, but we do got a few exciting stuff, in my opinion. So to start us off here, the Tomodachi Game manga ends with this 26th volume on this Thursday. So, it's been a long time for Tomodachi Game for the manga. This anime just started up last year with their first season. And now that the manga is ending, it's officially a green light, everybody. It's a green light. It's nothing. All we got left is for them to make a good adaptation. That's it. All the content is here. We just got to make a good adaptation now.
Yeah, I'm hoping we come back with that season 2 a lot faster, if possible. And, that it's well liked enough for us them to go all the way with it. Because, as they said, all the groundwork has been laid. So let's, just move this thing right along.
All right, you want to continue?
Yeah, sure. So next we have for general news, it looks like Fearon's Beyond Journey's End manga is about to go on hiatus. It was announced in the 24th issue of the Weekly Shonen Sunday magazine that it premieres in that the author of basically the manga is about to. I don't know if there's like any medical issues or anything, but they announced that they're taking a break from the series come May 15th. So if you're a follower of the manga, just know if you don't receive any chapters after that, it's because it's on hiatus right now. And hopefully everything's all right and it can get back to serialization quickly. Because from what it sounded like, it had a hiatus earlier in the year already. So hopefully everything's okay, and I'm hoping they can get back to it as soon as possible.
100%, 100%. And we just got done talking about this, but My Hero season 7 is listed for 21 episodes. Everybody, so it's gonna be. We got a few episodes. We in there for the long run. Everybody, we are in there for the long haul. So go ahead and join us for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Next, some news that's particularly towards me. Code Geass, Rose of the Recapture, just recently premiered in Japanese theaters for its first act. It's broken up into 4 acts, with the other acts coming later throughout the year. Act 2 is supposed to be premiering June 7th. Act 3, July 5th, and then the final act on August 2nd. There's no news on when these acts will start streaming and exactly where, but we'll try and keep you guys updated. Although from what I've heard, there's some people who have released reviews of it already, and they say if you enjoyed Code Geass, while this doesn't feature the characters from the original series, it is a very good sequel series so far.
Gotcha.
Which a lot of people acknowledge is a pretty hard thing to pull off when you ain't got Lelouch no more. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this is all about when it finally can mix its way over here to the West.
All right. Mushoku fans, rise up, everybody. We got the new arc of the season announced, the elaborate arc that's going to start on May 26th. So this weekend on the, where's my phone? I believe it's the 19th this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're correct.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, the week of the 19th. There we go. There we go. I'm here. The week of the 19th, Mushoku will not be airing this week because I can't remember the reason they gave, but Mushoku will not be airing this week. It'll come back with the start of the new arc on May 26th. So I'm definitely excited for that. Turning Point 3 just came on last week. I haven't watched it yet. I still need to watch it. So telling what crazy stuff just went down.
Yeah, I mean, from the trailer, there's a trailer out. From the trailer, it looks like what I predicted is basically happening. They sent Rudy the letter to tell him what his mom is.
Yeah.
And he about to, head on out.
He about to, hey, his time.
So, looking forward to the new arc starting. I think need to watch the latest episode, but it's been good. Mushoku has been good.
It's been good.
Really excited to see what happens in this new arc. All right, but that was it for general news. Moving into new series. Some of you may recognize this is there's a pretty popular manga by the name of Togen Enki. Recently it just got announced and revealed that it's going to be made into an anime to be come out next year. For those that don't know, Togen Enki is a story about Ichinose Shiki, an inheritor of the blood of Inoni, who has lived basically a peaceful life up until an assassination attempt is brought upon him, and which his foster father then has to immediately explain, who he is, basically who Ichinose is, and like why
the lore.
Yeah. So after this like deadly battle with this assassin, he decides to join this academy that's supposed to, I guess, teach people how to hone their own abilities, and then he will be going out to exact revenge on the person who apparently took out his foster father. So if you're into, it sounds like a dark story of revenge, but also featuring the classic anime tropes of demons and stuff like that. So if you're interested in any of that, be sure to check out the trailer for Togen Enki and look out for its release next year.
All right. And last but not least, everybody, the long-awaited season 2 Blue Lock is back. It's scheduled currently for October 2024. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for this. I did not think I was gonna be excited or get into a soccer anime, but god damn it, Blue Lock did it. They did it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for the return of Blue Lock. I mean, granted, we'll be getting some more Blue Lock here in a few. I believe
Yes.
we talked about it last episode, but the Nagi movie should be releasing here in the West, I believe, on the 27th of June, if not July. But yeah, so I mean, in the middle of this year, before season 2, we'll still get some of that
June
Blue Lock
28th to
goodness.
be exact. My
Oh,
apologies.
28th. Okay, I was a
Yep.
day early. All right.
June 28th to be exact is when the Blue Lock movie will come in theaters. So yeah, I mean, I'm like you said, I'm excited for that movie as well as season 2. I can't wait. I can't wait. But everybody, that was the end of GLC News, everybody. So before we head on to our last discussion, we're going to give out this week's weekly recommendation, everybody. So take it away, McMillian.
All right. So this week's weekly recommendation is kind of interesting, I'd probably say. It's the title of it is The Future Diary, or I believe the Japanese title is Yorai Nikki, if I'm not mistaken. I may have butchered that name. But some people might know this. This is kind of like a hidden gem almost type of thing. But basically the story focuses around this young boy named Yukateru who is called into a death match against 11 other people who all have weird mental issues. Very interesting people. Each player though has a device that is in tune to their personality that gives them slight control over their own future and the fate of their foes. This show primarily has 26 episodes, one season, and it's all streamed on Crunchyroll. It has an English dub is either in English or Japanese, and it has an array of subtitle options for your consuming pleasure. So,
what in the saw is going on here?
it's a wild show. It's a wild show. One of the characters from the show is somewhat famous. Like, you probably don't know her name, but you've seen an image of her. She is known as like the strongest yandere in existence. I don't know if that helps clear that up for you.
Okay.
But her name is Yuno Agasai. And if you haven't seen it, Ace, just keep that. Just take that name, put it in the back of your mind, and you go start watching it. You go be like, oh, I see.
All right, that's interesting. Well, thank you for that. Once again, everybody, this week's weekly recommendation is The Future Diary. I might actually check this one out. That seems interesting.
It's a fun time. It's not like anything like earth-shatteringly like crazy like Attack on Titan or like that. It's just shit. As we say on the podcast. But it's a good time. It's a good time. I think a lot of people enjoy it.
That's all we're here for. That's all we're here for. All right, everybody, we had some small technical difficulties there, but thankfully we didn't get too far. So we're just going to start back here, right here with the Demon Slayer Season 4, Episode 1 review, everybody. And once again, even though you didn't hear me last time, but Demon Slayer was off to a phenomenal start. If you guys remember, the episode 1 actually aired in theaters a couple of months ago. So, if you was able to check that out, you was one of the lucky ones. But no, regardless though, this was what was shown in theaters, and boy, no, was it a great episode? So, yeah. McMillian, I know you're a reader of the Demon Slayer manga. Mm-hmm. So, how did this episode make you feel?
So I mean, I said a little bit before we started recording, and I talked to a friend about this. That first scene with the Wind Hashira and the snake and the serpent Hashira, that was anime only. So how we were talking about, I think we've talked about it on the podcast before, but if not, me and Ace have had conversations of basically about like how the Hashira training arc in the manga is one of the smaller arcs. So I was very interested to see that they wanted to do a full like season for it.
Season out of it, yeah.
Because I thought like they may have wanted to do something similar to the train arc, but Ace said maybe they'll use this time to like flesh out some stuff with anime only scenes. And if they do what they just did with the beginning of the episode, I ain't mad because they was animating. Ufotable said we coming back swinging because the abilities that both Hashiras used looked fucking amazing. The action looked fluid as hell. And then
it did.
Them jumping into the Infinity Castle, I was like, oh shit.
That part right there, because I'm glad you mentioned that it was anime only, because one, that's just dope as hell, right? That they added in some new content. But two, when that scene happened, I was like, there's no shot we're just about to lose two Hashiras off the back like this, right?
I legitimately, in my head, I was like, so wait, are we changing? I was 100% worried because I was like, are we changing the story? Are they about to? Because there ain't no way they're surviving in there by themselves.
Yeah, no, they fell in there by themselves at that moment. They was more than likely lunch meat,
Yeah,
right?
right. I was like, it's only. I was like, they can't. I was like, there's the guy that there's no shot they about to leave him in there by themselves. There's no way we changing the story that much, right?
He said, "There's no way we're doing this, right? Like this is complete. This might as well be a Full Metal Alchemist reboot situation going on."
I was like, I'm strapped in. I'm long for the ride. I'm waiting to see what happened. But please, do not tell me these niggas about to just survive it here. Don't lie to me.
Yeah.
Right?
And then that part also got me thinking, because there's all these conversations about how the breathing form should have been an actual thing, but the author say technically like the breathing forms aren't actually like visualized like that.
Mm-hmm.
The anime just visualizes like that, but the breathing forms aren't actually like embedding their natures and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a miss in my opinion, right?
Well, that's why a lot of people who read the series or watch the series don't necessarily they don't pay attention to that thing or like
aspect of it.
Yeah, because to be fair, and the author said this was their first ever like full on project. They weren't necessarily like trying to fully think ahead. I feel like a lot of the stuff they made, they kind of did as they went, and it just so happened to work. But a lot of people
but I mean, it just turn it. You already made a power system. Just make it real. That's all. That's all you have to do is just say that it's real.
I think the worry is, so for instance, like when people bring up like Demon Slayer abilities, the reason the things where they're like, it's kind of bullshit for them, for the author to say that this like the elements are real, because the biggest example is the Wind Hashira, because a lot of their moves have distance. And if the effects weren't real, that doesn't make any sense for
he's strong enough to cut the air to make actual slash attacks. What do you mean? Come on now.
Yeah, so
he that guy. He just that guy.
So I feel like the reason the author says that is because, for instance, water breathing probably is will be like a night, like it would be crazy for that to generate effects. Because, for instance, like when you think of lull, the fucking ocean appears.
Because I mean, well, yeah, but it's like it's kind of like you just say that's like a just a zone type thing, or just like it's almost like you kind of, I don't know if you've been reading Kagurabachi, but it's almost like a little bit on Kagurabachi type stuff though, right? With the Enchanted Blades, like I think it could have worked out.
I mean, granted, I don't necessarily like I even agree. I think the author panicked and could have very easily been like, hey, certain effects do actually generate like elements and then some don't. Like I really don't feel like they had to be as,
because I mean one of my main issues with Demon Slayer was just how I like the fact that it's rooted in real life, but then at the same time, okay, you're telling me like the people aren't magical, but we're fighting against magical beings though. You get what I'm saying? So it just kind of just throw me off a bit, because these demons basically have magic. Essentially,
yeah, I mean, that's what the blood techniques are.
With the scene we just saw with the Infinity Council, appearing and disappearing, that's magic. I don't care. I mean, that's just straight up magic.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's a fight with a certain upper moon that you will legitimately be like, this is straight up magical ability. So I mean, I agree. Like that's why I said like some people don't necessarily agree with like the author's take on the powers not being real, and like you said, I don't think it had to be that deep. I think they just, as again, this was their first project, so they might have just like kind of panicked, because I'm pretty sure what they wanted was regular people fighting demons, which you could still have,
fighting demons, which you could have still had, but it's just the way you made the demons though is like.
But my thing is you could still say Tanjiro and all them are still normal people, but the techniques that they use aren't. Like it's very easy to blanket to be like, hey, this is slight like what they're doing is like magic that's been passed down or something that only works with their blades. Boom, done. Like you could have just did that, but you get. But I feel like she panicked, or the gender for the Demon Slayer author has been revealed. They I think they just kind of panicked. This was their first big project. They didn't really know fully like what they wanted to do, and yeah. But regardless, the return of Demon Slayer very strong. This episode,
yes,
definitely was a very strong start. They animated the fuck out of it, and
that they are.
And granted,
Ufotable is going crazy.
and granted, it wasn't like the action heavy. We did get a lot of like lore and what do I want to say? Like they very much set up the vibe for this season, very well.
Yes. Yes. So, I guess I'm gonna just do a little bit of a summary of the episode because I know just to get to some different discussions. Because once again, it's a little bit different how we had to do these discussions. Everybody, since our friend McMillian has read the manga
Apologies.
here. But so also in this episode, so we get the news that the master is succumbing to his illness. Just day by day. Just it's only a matter of time at this point before he passed away, unfortunately. But he will no longer appear before the Hashiras anymore, right? Because he's 6, right? So the next person's gonna take his stand. I don't know if I want to ask you this because I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. Okay, you know what? I'm just go for it. I'm just go for it.
Okay.
So during the Hashira meeting, they was having a discussion on what they should do next and all that, and there was a moment where they was about to disperse, but the rock Hashira, I think it was the Earth Hashira, he basically got the ass in check. Is he him? Is he him?
I don't think that's a spoiler to say yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because I don't think because you're not necessarily asking anything specific.
And by him, I mean, is he the strongest Hashira?
Oh,
I guess point blank period is the question I wanted to ask. Is he the strongest Hashira? Because I think it's between my I guess hierarchy of how I was thinking about this is either between him and Giyu. I don't know because Giyu was the only one who didn't look like he was phased about that. And if it wasn't Giyu, it was be the Miss Hashira just because we know he's that prodigy or whatever, right? So it would be between them three for me.
So the way, so if you ask the streets, and by the streets I mean the Demon Slayer community, the people that have read the series, a lot of people would say yes. The author does not directly say that
who's the strongest.
Like, so what they, if you read the manga, what they do is there are these sometimes in the manga there'll be like these little pages that say like, oh, here's some information about the Hashiras, and it'll be like, who's the fastest Hashira, who's has the most physical strength out of the Hashira, stuff like that. Because I think what they were trying to do is they say that not necessarily that there's no definitive answer for strongest.
Because not necessarily one Hashira is better than the other.
Yeah, because each of them excel in different types of like
different things. Yeah, I guess.
So, but
I see.
But so I would, in my opinion, Guillaume is one of the strongest characters in the series. That's as much as I probably could say without like getting into spoilers.
Got you. Yeah, because I mean, I don't think we've seen like them do that little aura thing. The only time we only seen them really do that was with Muzan, and the first time we seen Upper Moon 1. So that's when I kind of put it like, okay, he's at least somewhat strong, right? If they giving him the little pressure aura, you feel me? So
yeah, Guillaume is cool. I'll just say that like he is definitely that dude. But like I'll leave. Since like there's no definitive answer on whether or not he's the strongest, I'll leave that up to when you start seeing
interpretation for the views. Okay, I feel you. Okay, all right. Okay. So another thing that I'm definitely looking forward to this season. So as we all know that this is the Hashira training arc, and not only is this the training for the Hashiras, it's also training for the entire Demon Slayer Corps, right? They're trying to boost the entire power of the Demon Slayer Corps all together because they know they basically going into their final battle essentially.
Yeah, basically.
Right. So I guess for you, I don't know if I want to ask you, like, maybe is there anybody who we should be on the lookout for that's not necessarily a Hashira that maybe, who got some stuff to show this season, or I don't know how you want to.
So it's interesting this season.
Talk about future insights.
Yeah, I like without, I guess, spoiling stuff. Like this season is more so. I feel like it sets the ground. This I've said this already. This season is the season right before like the last arc.
Hmm.
This season is primarily to set the groundwork of getting people ready to fight the remaining upper moons. That's as much as I could probably get into without spoiling because I feel like that's very obvious.
Yeah.
In terms of watching out for characters, the show makes it very easy. It's the main characters. That's
I mean, well, of course, well, yeah.
That's point blank period. And this season really serves more so, and you can kind of get this from the first episode. We're learning a lot more about the Hashiras in general because it is called the Hashira training arc. And all of them are training to unlock this mark that helps that Tanjiro, Mitsuru, and oh, why am I blanking on the Miss Hashira unlocked?
The Love Hashira. Oh yeah, the Miss Hashira. Yeah, there we go.
Unlocked last season. So,
Mushiro.
Yeah, Mushiro. Thank you. So that's like primarily the focus. So technically, it's the main characters and the Hashiras that you primarily look out for. None of the other side characters really.
Other side characters really do much, I guess. Okay, I mean, understandable.
Yeah, I was about to say the show makes it very, very easy.
It's understandable. And, speaking of the little symbols that you just mentioned, on top of that, we learned the more about the lore of the first. What do they call them? The first breezemen?
The first swords.
Breathers? Sword breathers?
Yeah, breathing technique swordsmen or some swordsmen. The first demon slayers, basically.
Essentially, yes. Essentially the first demon slayers, right? Uh-huh. So that was cool. And, we got to learn a little bit more about that. And now we basically know that the guy that Tanjiro has been seeing is one of these first descendants of one of these first Hashiras, or not first Hashiras, one of these first demon slayers, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of cool as well.
Yeah. That's also something I would say. You kind of within this season, you also kind of learn a little bit more about the history of the core. So, like I said, this is a very lore and establishment heavy like season. Not as much. You won't get as many demon fights, but you will get to glean a lot more information about the characters, and then also like the history that's behind some of the stuff. So
yeah. So I guess for me, I guess I'll go ahead and give my wish list here since I don't know what's going on. So for me, my wish list, everybody that I want from Demon Slayer, just mainly for Tanjiro, right? I really want to see because we know he has sun breathing, and apparently sun breathing was one of these first forms of breathing, right? But what I really want to see is,
I was about to say something, but I can't remember if it was revealed or not yet, because.
No, it's not necessarily revealed, but I mean, putting two and two together.
Okay. Oh, so was it said that? I think I sworn. What's his name?
Well, no, we know. Rengoku's I'm saying. Yeah, Rengoku taught us about sun breathing, and he made. I think actually in that lore he did mention that sun breathing was one of the first breathing techniques that was made, right? And if I'm not mistaken, but regardless, even if they didn't mention there, once we got the reveal of the first breathers, it's kind of
obvious,
simple to put two and two together.
Yeah, right? I was just trying to make sure that I was like, I'm not about to say something that was like,
you didn't want to spoil nothing, understandable, but yeah, so we know Tanjiro has sun breather, but what I'm really definitely interested in is to see if Tanjiro makes up a new type of breathing technique, because Tanjiro has shown that he can not necessarily master, but he has the ability to do multiple different types of breathing techniques.
Okay, so when you say technique, are you talking about like, for instance, how they're numbered, right? Like they'll be like,
no, by technique I mean like a new style. Okay. So
that's what
like a new form.
I was trying to figure out. Okay.
Yeah, like a new form. That's what I mean. Because essentially, like I said, because he knows, not necessarily knows, because he has the ability to learn all these different types of forms from the different Hashiras, right? And then now he even kind of alluded to himself, training in this first episode, training with other people makes you stronger. And he was telling Zenitsu, make sure you pick up on everything that you can from the Hashiras, right? So there's no telling. Yeah, so there's no telling what other forms and abilities he's going to be learning from the other Hashiras that he can pick up, and is he going to just basically take all this information that he's getting from the Hashira and make a new form out of that? Essentially, is what I'm wondering.
Okay.
Because he has been shown, he has been proven and shown, and only it's just specifically him that he can learn different breathing techniques. Because from the very beginning of the show, it's been really ingrained that really you can only really master one breathing technique, right? Like maybe you can mix and dabble in other stuff, but it's really just just one technique. But our boy Tanjiro has been breaking those bounds recently.
Yeah, I mean, what was I about to say? Like, just a reminder to that point. Like, the Love Hashira, she started off using fire. She started.
Yeah.
She was like Rengoku. She was Rengoku's. There's a word for it, like being right under Hashira, and then she developed the love form because it better suited her. So, yeah, I mean, it will be interesting to see if that's what we'll get.
And also the whole March things. See, that's another reason why I say we should have just went full magical system, right? Because now we're pulling out magical marks all of a sudden. Now, come on now. Like, come on now. Like, I know we just got off that conversation, but we're pulling out magical marks now. And I'm assuming the way our boy Mucho was describing, you push your body to a certain limit and you basically, like, in JJK terms, you go in the zone essentially, right? And you're at the peak of human performance at that point.
Basically, that's
Like,
basically what the thing is supposed to denote. And I mean, that's why I say, like, you got to cut the author some slack. This is their first thing. and it just so happened to be a hit.
But I'm just saying, but just all the pieces for a real magical fantasy system are just right there.
Right there.
It's just like all you just got to say is yes, it's real. That's all you got to do. Just like yes, it's real. Oh, but man, because I don't know. I just think that was the biggest miss for Demon Slayer. But regardless, Demon Slayer is still a fantastic show, though.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, and I'm definitely looking forward to just learning more about all the Hashiras in general, and definitely seeing all the power boosts that our main characters are going to get. Because like you just mentioned, it's about the main characters. Of course, it's a trainer arc, so of course our main characters are going to get a power boost, right? So definitely waiting to see how much stronger they're getting. And I will say it is dope as hell that Tanjiro has Rengoku's thing on his sword. I can't remember the name of it, but the emblem that goes on his katana, though. Yeah, the guard. Yeah, there we go. That is so dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
That was cool. That was a great moment, and I loved like how much attention to detail they did to like the sword and everything too. It was great.
I love it. Well, all right. Well, everybody. So, I don't know. Is there anything specifically in this arc as well you want to touch upon that you're looking forward to, maybe, or just a specific character that you're waiting for everybody to learn more about? Rather, I think that's a better question.
My favorite character is Gyu. So pay attention to him. That's all I got.
Okay, there we go.
All I gotta say without spoiling stuff, because I mean they've already alluded that something's going on with him this season because the master wrote a letter to Tanjiro about him, and then also how he was acting at the meeting.
So yeah.
I just say pay attention to him. Also, but just in general, if you wanted more information about the Hashiras, you're gonna get it this season. So beautiful. Like just be on the lookout for that, because that is really, I feel like besides the training, that's a lot of what the season is about basically
is getting to know the Hashiras, because before up to this point now we really haven't gotten to know them. So I guess before we go off to fight for our lives, we at least get to know the people who's going to be fighting for us.
Learn about them niggas.
Yeah. Well, all right, everybody. I hope everybody had a fantastic time joining us again for another week. Why don't you go ahead and take us on out of McMillian?
As always, guys, appreciate you for watching / listening. If you want to stay on all things about the council, please consider following us on our social media. That is at Gurren Otakus on Twitter and at Gurren Otaku Council on every other social media platform. If you want to, make sure you don't miss any of our drops on YouTube, please consider hitting that like, comment, in that like and subscribe button, as well as the bell notification, so you can be notified when we upload. Let us know down below in the comments what you thought about the episode and what you're looking forward to from these, two kings in the anime space right now. For those that are listening to us on our the audio streaming platforms, please consider following the show, as well as writing a review. It really helps us grow, and sharing it with your friends and family.
Yes.
This is Gurren Otaku Council saying meeting adjourned. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy the season.